Good morning, everybody. I was thinking this morning, and I tell my guys and my kids to get up and be on a routine, do something that's keeping you going, that you can do every morning. That's, I don't want to say repetitious, because you're either going in a circle or cycle of bad habits, or you're going in a circle or cycle of good habits. So, one thing that I try to do is make sure I wake up, pray, thank God that I woke up. Thank God that I have running water. If you count your blessings, there's not a lot more to complain about. But something I think about a lot is, it seems like, and I hear people say it all the time, man, the day we're living in and the world's getting worse and worse. And one of my dad's favorite things was, there's nothing new under the sun. He also had a saying that there's a cultural attempt to exterminate the sacred. So when you think about exterminating something, like if I hire a pest control company or something to come and exterminate something in my house or my business or whatever, they're trying to completely do away with that pest or rodent or bug or whatever. Exterminate. So if you're completely trying to exterminate the sacred, then you're trying to do away with all things good. And it seems like, and again, we go back to that, there's nothing new under the sun. You literally can go back to the Garden of Eden. It's why I love the Bible. And Eve dealt with the same thing that we deal with today. Lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, and the boastful pride of life. And those are the three things that you're supposed to guard yourself from. And whichever you feed more is going to win. There's the native saying of the two wolves, and whichever you feed more, the flesh or the spirit. There is a flesh and a spirit constantly at war. It's why when my dad would go talk at these things and people would be like, well, you don't really understand the spiritual or Wiccan and all this. I was like, yeah, we do. God created that. It's just you're focusing on that more than the creator. And at some point we have to get back to, why did our grandmas and grandpas, and why did people pass certain things with their baton of faith to us? Why did they tell us? Why do we think sometimes they were so hard on us? Like, did that help us or did it hurt us? Because that's another saying I use with my kids all the time. Are you being helpful or are you being hurtful? It's little tiny things that make life super simple. But just as Eve dealt with that, and then you have Eve blaming the man, and then the man blaming the woman, and then the blame game, that goes on today. With gangsters blame cops, or gangbangers blame this person, or this neighborhood blames this, or this political party blames this, or this gang blames this, it goes on through all the things. This denomination blames this denomination. And at some point, I'm tired of the blame game. Everything in the Bible is laid out pretty common sense. And it's why I love it. Like, Cain killed Abel with a rock over the first worship service that was ever committed. Should we ban rocks? No. You don't ban the rock. It's the heart, condition, and mind of soul of where Cain was at in his life. He killed his own brother with a rock. We shouldn't ban all rocks. We should do something to fix Cain. But now he's already committed murder. So you shouldn't murder. You shouldn't kill people. You shouldn't stab people. You shouldn't rape people. You shouldn't. Basically, we have 2,000 some odd laws. And it started off at 10. And it all comes back to 2. Love God with all your heart, soul, and mind. And love your neighbor as yourself. And if we're not going to love our neighbor and we're not going to love God, and true love is 1 Corinthians 13. I know it's read at a lot of wedding ceremonies and everything else. But true love is, if I love my parents, I'll honor them. If I love this person, I'll respect them. If I love that, true love. I'm not talking about lust. I know there's a lot of stuff where, like, she won't sleep with me that's nonsense. Again, we're culturally dumbing down our sexuality, where sex is like a handshake. We're culturally, and I did it. I did some of these things. Like, I'm not sitting here as the hypocrite that's going to be like, oh, you bad, horrible people, because that's not true. I was, like Paul would say, the sinner of sinners. Like, he ran around and killed Christians before God opened his eyes. I ran around and did a lot of nonsense before God opened mine. So, and I think that's what everybody has to get to. Like, and if you don't have to go through those things, great. That's awesome, the Christians that learn from others' mistakes. A wise man learns from his mistakes. A wiser man or woman learns from the mistakes of others. They don't ever have to go through it. I don't have to be a drug addict or an alcohol depraved person or a crackhead or put my head under a tire or eat a Tide Pod. I can watch that. That's not smart. That's not intelligent. So there is a cultural attempt to exterminate the sacred. We try to see everything do away with God and lie, and Satan is the father of lies. So to wrap this up, there is nothing new under the sun. The Roman Empire had horrible things happen. Sodom and Gomorrah had horrible things happen. The flood brought about, that's all over the world. The flood brought about evil. The intentions of men's heart were evil all the time. And we kind of get back to those things. And you have the pivotal decadence of information on this phone, on your computer, we've never been at more information, but it seems like we just want to believe whatever somebody says first, or believe whatever some news station we want to follow, or believe some agenda. And it's like sheep following a blind, stupid leader off a cliff. And at some point, we have to get back to what God has said and done, not what people think and feel. So that's my 5 minutes. I try to spit as quick as I can, but there's nothing new under the sun. Love God, love people, love you all, and just take those things daily. Be helpful, not hurtful. Do more for others than you do for yourself. Like we become very selfish, and we become very entitled, and we become very spoiled as a nation because we're taking it for granted. And I'm not saying everybody in America is a spoiled brat, but we are very spoiled in that we can go to a grocery store and just get something off a shelf. We don't have to go milk a cow or get it ourselves or go to an outhouse, or some of those things made us tougher. They gave us a grit that we don't have. Like, my dad grew up on a farm. I didn't grow up raising chickens and all that, and I was a little brat. Like, it's real. Like, we kind of oppress and make ourselves go through these little struggles and create these little problems, and we don't need to have them. Be more thankful and grateful than you are ungrateful and unthankful. So, love y'all, run with it.